What is Cthulhu Wars Extinction? We'll come on back after the break for a quick overview of this two-player, highly asymmetric game of area control, a little bit of warfare, and the doom of all mankind and the planet Earth. But hey, that's a little segue. Hey everybody, welcome out to the show, Board Game Reviews. This is a YouTube channel dedicated to the tabletop gaming hobby, and this video is part of a video series looking at Cthulhu Wars Duel Extinction. Now in this video I'm going to give you a quick overview of the game itself. Now if you have any comments or questions, make sure to leave them down in the YouTube comments down below. I will do my best to get to them as quickly as I can. You can also feel free to email me at offtheshelfboardgamereviews. That is otsbgr@gmail.com. I'll do my best to answer emails as quickly as I can. And if you enjoy the content and you enjoy the videos I put out there, think about tossing $1 in the tip jar over at Patreon. Patreon.com/OTSBGR. No gimmicks, no games. This channel is 100% sponsor free. Just tossing $1 in a tip jar is a great way to say thanks and let me know you enjoy the content and you want to continue to see more content coming out there. If you enjoy this video series, click that like button, click that subscribe button, because your subscriptions definitely do matter here. Now, Cthulhu Wars Duel, if you're not familiar with it, this is an area control asymmetric game in the Cthulhu mythos where every single player in this two-player game is going to control one of the great old ones and their factions' monsters, their acolytes, and their basic objective is just to bring ruin across the planet, create the most doom. The first person to get to 30 doom is going to bring about the end game. Then the players are going to shatter their elder signs. Whoever has the most victory points will be the grand winner of the game. The basic gameplay is going to be played out over rounds. Every round is going to be broken down into various different sections. The very first start of the round is going to be the action phase, where players can perform various actions such as moving across the board, building gates on the board itself, summoning their great old ones, summoning monsters, or even just going out there and attacking the other players and rolling combat dice and getting the results from the dice and figuring out who is going to be the grand winner of this combat. Because combat is one of the great ways that we're going to gain victory points. Unlike the basic game of Cthulhu Wars, in this game, players gain doom, which is the victory points, by eliminating their opponent's units. The amount of doom you're going to gain is going to be based on the cost to summon that unit. So take out a unit that costs 6 doom or 6 power to bring into play, and that's going to give you 6 doom. Remember, the first person to get to 30 is going to bring about the end game. Additionally, players gain victory points by performing rituals of annihilation. The only trick is these rituals get more and more expensive as the game goes by until we get to instant death, which is going to bring around the end game, which is also the second way the game is going to end. It's instant death, but don't worry, it's not instant death for your great old one, just instant death for the planet. The great old one's going to be A-okay. Continuing on with the action phase, though, players during the action phase are going to move around the board, build gates. They're going to interact with the board because this board has a new trick to it, which is unique to the new Cthulhu Wars edition of the Extinction system. Because now we have these dark towers, and what these dark towers do is these dark towers are going to slowly be built across the board every single round. At the end of the round, we're going to add more of these towers. What these towers do is they make it so gates cannot be controlled by any player anymore. Meaning this is going to be a very power-rich map, but it's going to be power-rich for both the players, because remember, in the game of Cthulhu Wars, you gain more power for controlling a gate, but any gate that's not controlled by any player is considered an uncontrolled gate, and all uncontrolled gates give power to all of our players. And power is how you do your actions. You use power to attack, you use power to move, you use power to summon your creatures. But when everybody gets power, that means everybody has actions to do things. After we go through the action phase, we're going to go through the gather power phase, where players are going to gain power based on the amount of gates they control, the amount of gates that are uncontrolled, the amount of cultists they have that are available to be sacrificed to gain victory points. And don't worry, Ithaqua still has their great power to also capture monsters. That's also in the game here. But we're going to gain power from doing various actions. After that, whoever has the most power is going to be the starting player for the following round. But before we get to that following round, we get to go to the doom phase. During the doom phase, players get that chance to do that ritual annihilation I described earlier. If they decide to do so, they may gain some victory points for gates controlled. They may also gain some elder signs that they can break for victory points at a later date. But whether they decide to do the ritual or don't do the ritual, that's going to end the doom phase after we add a couple more towers onto the board. The game is going to play out round after round after round like this until one player manages to get all the way up to 30 Doom, bringing about the end game. Then players get to break their Elder Signs to gain any extra victory points and any extra Doom they may have from breaking those Elder Signs. Then we'll have the grand winner of the game. Or like I said earlier, if we have too many Rituals of Annihilation, we're going to enter instant death. And after the end of the instant death round, all the players will add up their victory points, including broken Elder Signs. And then whoever has the most amount of victory points is going to be the grand winner of the game. Now, Cthulhu Wars Duel takes the basic gameplay of Cthulhu Wars itself and breaks it down into a fantastic two-player game. Unlike the classic Cthulhu Wars, which is a game for 3 up to 7, 8, 9, or even 10 players, depending on how many factions you have, this is a game that's truly a two-player game. It's very much like a chess-style game where it's going to go back and forth. And not only that, the great thing is if you have this box set, and if you happen to have the original box set, you now have access to 4 different factions. You now have access to 2 different maps and a lot more ways to play the game of Cthulhu Wars Duel. Now, if you enjoyed this video, if you have any comments or questions, make sure to leave them down in the YouTube comments down below. I will definitely get to them as quickly as I can. You can also feel free to email me off-the-shelf board game reviews. That's otsbgr@gmail.com. I'll do my best to answer your email as quickly as I can. Again, if you enjoy the content I put out there, think about supporting the channel over on Patreon. $1 in that tip jar. This channel is gimmick free and sponsor free. Your donations in the tip jar really do matter here because I don't have the luxury of sponsors. All the content you see I put out there is from my own pocketbook I bring out there to bring out content for all of you. If you enjoy this video, series, click that like button, click that subscribe button, and as always, thanks for watching.